Good morning, everyone. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com with your morning market outlook for Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. In the pre market this morning, stock index futures, commodities, and cryptos are currently trading higher. So looks like people want to do a little buying on Wednesday. Yesterday was a big reversal day for the market. Didn't undo the previous day's damage, but was certainly a nice attempt. Now, today is NVIDIA Day. NVIDIA earnings come out after hours. So, once every quarter, the market holds its breath to see what's happening with NVIDIA. NVIDIA peaked back in October. It's been struggling ever since. We did get down to the 200-day moving average at the start of February and bounced. But certainly not a major bounce. We moved right back up to resistance, and we're currently trading just above the 193.75 level in the pre-market on Wednesday morning. The pros of the public, you can see nobody's been that enthusiastic to do much with NVIDIA. They certainly have not been aggressive sellers over the past couple of months. Right now, we're coming into Wednesday with NVIDIA on a buy signal. And of course, all the action happens after hours on Wednesday. Now, after hours last night, we had Workday continue to move lower. I just wanted to use this as an example because Workday, it is down in the pre-market this morning. It is trading below the bottom of our projected trading range, and so we don't have any other targets there right now. The simplest thing to do at this point is just take the difference between the current price targets, and you can do the simple math, and our next price target would be 112.50. Now, if we start breaking down, if you go to the weekly chart, you can see our next target below 125, and this chart was printed last weekend. You can see that 93.75 would be our next target on the weekly chart, and of course, we would expect some sort of psychological support at the $100 level. Now, what worked yesterday? Well, a lot of things came back, but one item that I'm watching closely is Advanced Micro Devices. It popped yesterday in the pre-market, ended the day above the upper channel line, giving us a buy signal. We also ran up to resistance. We're trading up in the pre-market this morning, still not above the 218.75 level. And you can see there's a nice gap there that could be filled up at the 234.38 level. And that could certainly be a legitimate target to the upside for AMD. Now, we also saw a lot of the stocks that have been hit hard over the past few days or few weeks or few months come back yesterday. There is Thomson Reuters back on a buy signal. We had Salesforce move up yesterday, not enough to give us a buy signal, but it was a big winner on the Dow. Another big winner on the Dow was IBM inside day yesterday, so coming off the previous day's huge down move. PayPal, second day of a buy signal. There's an open gap that could certainly get filled to the upside. And the big winner on the S&P 500 was Keysight, which was up over 23% on the day. So congratulations to anyone along that stock. What didn't work? Well, there weren't a lot of things that didn't work yesterday. A small pullback in Canadian REITs, a small pullback in Canadian banks that had something to do with Bank of Nova Scotia, which ended the day back on a sell signal as of Tuesday's close. Then Canadian tech stocks were down on the day, but not a major change there. It was actually an inside day for that particular ETF. Now, looking at the VIX for the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Russell 2000 are all still on buy signals here. And you can see the NASDAQ VIX traded down to the lower channel line yesterday, but did not close below it. Looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin traded down into the $62,000 range yesterday. It's come back. It's up in the pre-market this morning. Not enough to give us a buy signal, but getting pretty close to it. And we do have Ethereum also trading higher on Wednesday morning. Now, I'm going to finish off today's presentation taking a look at the Canadian market and specifically the Canadian energy sector. The TSX was able to make a new all-time closing high yesterday. It's certainly not getting a lot of help from Shopify right now, which was instrumental in pushing the Canadian market higher in 2025. Right now, we are looking at the energy sector, which over the past few weeks has been helping the Canadian market move up. A very small pullback yesterday on the ETF, just down 5 cents on the day. There's the price of crude oil, which actually peaked at the end of January and has not been able to make a higher high just yet. we're getting energy inventories later in the morning that might be able to help us get over the 64.06 level. When we look at the Canadian energy sector and looking at the iShares ETF, you can see that we're struggling here at 23.44, which is both a daily and a weekly price target. Now, uh, looking at the right side chart, if you're looking at jumping into the energy sector right now, the amount of risk you're taking, how far is it from where we are right now to closing under the lower channel line? It's not too much different than what you've seen all the way up here. So from that point of view, there's the same amount of risk basically that there has been for the last month or so. But the problem is that, the pros took control back here at the start of the year. And right now we're looking at a sector that may be running out of enthusiasm. And at some point, investors are going to want to take profits. So this is not the low risk time to jump in. Certainly, if war breaks out in the Middle East, you could see a spike in crude oil. That could help push these stocks higher. At the same time, if there isn't, an outbreak in the Middle East, maybe things will start to settle down up here. But looking at the panic zone chart for Canadian Natural Resources, you can see we're well above the top of the panic zones here, currently ranked at 10. That is not the time to look for low risk opportunities. We're up here at the 59.38 level, trying to break out above that. Then looking at Cenovus, again, we're up here at the top of the panic zones. We're having trouble getting above 31.25, which is also the top of our weekly projected trading range. So, we're up here at levels that we were expecting to see at some point, and here we are. So this might be the end of the journey, not the start. And then looking at who's in control, you can see once again when the pros took control closer to the start of January. We had a bearish reversal signal here. We haven't seen a breakdown yet. When you see a bearish reversal signal like that, it's still in play until we get a close above that day's high, which we haven't got. So that bearish reversal signal is still in play. And there we are, traded down to the upper channel line yesterday. So today we're looking for a close below 29.42. I'm not expecting that to happen, but that's when you'd have to get out of this particular trade. And then looking at Suncor, again, we're up at the top of the panic zones, trying to break out above 78.13. If we can do that, then 81.25 comes into play. And then 81.25 is also our weekly price target. So yes, you could certainly jump in here and try to see if you can squeeze out some more profits in the energy sector, but it's not something that has anything close to a low risk stamp on it. This would be a high risk trade. And it's looks like, the enthusiasm for this sector is starting to wane here. That doesn't mean it is going to reverse tomorrow, but when you look at opportunities, start when the pros start to take control, not when they've taken control for a couple of months. For Suncor, we're looking for a close on Wednesday below $74.88. And again, I'm not expecting to see that. And if it doesn't happen on Wednesday, that lower channel line, of course, is going to continue to move higher daily. Okay, folks, that's all for this morning's presentation. So far, it looks like the market wants to do a little buying across the board on Wednesday morning. Of course, the world will be watching to see what happens with NVIDIA after hours on Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Thursday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theyuptrend.com.